That's good. I mean, I think we're in the same boat. We did we had a football league the last few years. We had some injuries that were
Not so
a little
great.
bit more than we wanted to
That's
handle.
that's the risk reward you run when you decide
No,
to
it
go
was it
flag
was it
football.
was it was no reward, and yeah, so we nixed that. Actually brought it back. Well, we didn't bring it back. Our guys tried to bring it back the first day after a Saturday conditioning session, and someone chipped a tooth. So,
And you had to be the
I think
adult and tell them no.
I wasn't there, so it was
Oh,
uh,
so you had to be the adult and tell them that
unapproved
they were in trouble.
activity.
So you had to lay that on Joey. Is what you had to do.
Exactly. No, it was not on Joey. It was on their
Oh,
own. Yeah, but no, I'm with you. Like, I think building competitive environments, especially for the guy that's like your middle to low tier player, that's still gonna have a
Yeah.
role in your team, still gonna be important
Mhm.
down the line. If you find something that he excels in, and then he does a really good job around it, for other guys, because your guys
Mhm.
see or teams see guys in different tiers and buckets, right? Like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
great player, that's an elite player, that's an average player,
Yep.
whatever. And then you're getting a different avenue, and that guy really excels at it. It's like, geez, this guy's he's a baller. Like, he can do
Yeah.
this. Like, look at his
This
personality
guy's
fits
really
well. This
athletic.
standing out.
Look at this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it really do that. Like, and that's as much a culture. Like, when we do those things, we'll do a teams thing here. Our last week before we break, we'll break them into teams. We'll do some different competitive things before we break off.
Mhm.
But the other part of that is building team culture, right? I think, because you talk about all your practice design and setup. Your hitters are working together this day. Your infielders are working over here. Your pitchers are working there. We might be together on game day, but how much in the week are we actually together as a team? So you get in these settings to where you break teams off to where you have a mix between position player and pitchers, and all of a sudden they're building stronger relationships together, working together in a different avenue, right? Where that's already happening in a game situation that we have in the spring, but they might not realize it, right? Because we're so individualized within our
Mhm.
sport, right? So how important do you think it is to be able to have different position groups work together, and do you strive to make that an important part for you, um, to build some team culture stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Like we didn't do it so much this fall, but when we get to spring, like we'll do competitive like like team defense drills. So we will do like we play a game called Action Jackson. I love it. It's one of my favorite games. This year we ran it once in fall and it was a total shit show to be honest with you, but we'll refine it. We'll get there. But the premise of the game is we split both half of our roster down the line positionally, and we're either hitting off of like coach throwing mixed or we've got double hack on the mound, and we're on the field and we're just completing action plays. So they have two opportunities to complete whatever action play we're going with. So whether that's like, any action play like sack, push, hit and run and hit, like whatever we're doing, could be anything. The defense then has to simultaneously defend it. And it's a point system, right? So each base acquired a certain amount of points. We play different rounds. So we do the same thing with first and thirds. So first round, each team gets 10 attempts. We got runners on first and third. First first time through, but either base gained is a point, and then second time through, home is worth 3, right? So now all of a sudden, okay, now we later in the game, we got to cut down that run at home. Are we willing to give up a point here at second to make sure we don't give up 3 here, right? We're playing situationally. So they're thinking about that as the game goes on, right? And so then they have to practice in a live scenario. They have to work together as pitchers and hitters, and or pitchers and I always say pitchers and hitters, pitchers and position players. Okay, we have some two-way guys too, which helps kind of bridge that gap. But yeah, I mean, and there's a punishment attached to it. We do like a minute plank, like it's nothing crazy, but like there's something to it. To where all right, you lost, you have a punishment, right? And so that creates some competitive like culture building where pitchers and hitters have to work together. But I can't speak highly enough about doing stuff outside of baseball. Like it's awesome when you see like the back end bullpen guy like make a huge play in a basketball game and everybody's like, this guy's awesome. When in reality, it's like he's thrown 5 innings this fall and hasn't really had a chance to shine. Like it's so big for us all kind of seeing each other on an equal playing field, and also to see how hilarious it looks when guys are bad at a sport, right? Like if we are playing like basketball and they can't even dribble, like it's awesome to see like that guy chops on the weekends, but dude, he can't even dribble a basketball. So it's also like humbling And you also see like competitively, like who's like, all right, I know I'm a role player in this game. I need to do my role at a high level and I'm just going to commit to it. Right. And that's always fun to see too. Like, I think there's a ton of benefit in that. So like when we play medball volleyball, our smaller guys are like, all right, man, like I'm here to set everybody up, but I'm not throwing that thing over the net. It's going to be tough. So like, let me supplement for you guys. Right. So it's fun to see that kind of like naturally happen. But
it's funny you mentioned the first and third one that you did, because we did one of those last year. I'm just kind of like reminiscing on it, where it was like, I think it was 1 point for the offense if you were safe at second, and 2 if you were safe at home, right, to try to get a run or try to prevent a run or whatever. And we ended off on one team was, I think, up by 2 or something like that, and the catcher caught it and just caught the ball and sat on home plate. And our fastest runner running at third, and he got to home, and like, in the circle you're good. So he's like jumping around, jolting around. He's like, I'm sitting here, come and tag me.
Yeah,
And
we
eventually
also
it was,
don't
okay, we're
tell
done.
them
We're
the
moving
score.
on.
We don't tell them the score
Yeah,
in the
that's
middle of it.
valid.